Hello there, Geranish of Whiskey Lore. Time for another whiskey tasting and doing another Scotch whiskey this week, Deanston, which is an old favorite of mine. And I did a comparison video on this some time back. Now I'm going to taste this one on its own. And this is a great distillery to go visit. It's a Highland distillery. You might be saying, Highland, okay, that's quite a distance up there. No, or you might say Highland, okay, it's up in the mountains. No, this is actually down near Stirling, so it's right at the foot of going up into the Cairngorm Mountains. And so this term Highland, it kind of confuses people. There is a line that was actually drawn between the lowlands and the highlands, and Highland more means that it's further north, and the lowlands are closer to England. So there you go. That's sort of the rough version of that. I was going to get into a discussion, by the way, about tins, because there's mixed opinions on these. I actually like them, and I don't just toss them away. I think the argument is it's just extra packaging that isn't really necessary. However, most of the packaging is paper, so it really shouldn't be too much of an issue. Now, I've seen some that are metal. Had a Glenmorangie that was in a metal container. That was a little odd, and I don't really have a use for that particular container because it didn't have a lot of writing on it either. Whereas this gives you a whole bunch of information that's kind of fun to go back and revisit after you've done a tasting and you've had the bottle for a while, and then you go back and you go, oh, okay, this is what they think this tastes like versus what do I think it tastes like. And so I'm going to do a little comparison here in terms of my nosing and tasting on this versus what is coming in on the package. So the first thing that I notice on this, and there's that note again, interesting. I get a lot of stone fruits on this. I want to say like a kind of like a peach or an apricot kind of a note that comes through. A little vanilla, floral note, and a little char. That's the note that was coming in. It comes across almost like a little bit of a dusty smoke. It's not smoky like peat, but there is a little smoky note, a little soapy note there too. Interesting, yeah, okay. Vanilla. Now the one thing here, this talks about that they have their characteristic Deanston creamy caramel note. I'm not really picking it up. I am getting the vanilla and sweet oak. Maybe a bit. It's what I love about this whiskey is it's complex, and so there's a lot of different stuff going on, and you can be coming at this at different times, and you're going to pick up different notes. If I'm in the mood for oak, maybe I would smell it more. You know what? Maybe that is what they're referring to is the oak, is what I'm smelling in terms of that char note. A little smokiness. Very interesting. They also mentioned gingerbread. Not necessarily. Yeah, I guess I am getting a little bit of that. Power of suggestion, but yeah, maybe I'm getting a hint of that. Interesting. Cheers. There's just so many it's just such a nice blend of flavors in there. On the finish, I get a little citrus note, like a rind with that ginger. But it's so juicy, and there's so many nice things going on in the middle of that whiskey. Again, the fruits are there. A little grain note comes in. Vanilla, caramel maybe towards the finish. Yeah, there's caramel on the finish, definitely. if there was a smoke on the nose, doesn't seem to, the oak is not really coming through the rest of the experience. Man, that is really nice. I mean, what I'm going to say about this is that if you don't sit there and try to analyze what all the different flavors are in it, it's just a wonderful taste. It's like, wow, this is really something that I don't even want to swallow it. I just want to hang on to this and enjoy it. In fact, I almost did that. We almost went into silence for a while because I was like, man, this is really, really good. So they say on the palate, well-rounded, creamy with soft vanilla, heather honey. Okay, I'm not getting the floral as much on the palate. I guess I could pay some more attention to it. Sweet oak, citrus, and sweet maltiness. So there's that maltiness that I was picking up and that grain. And then it's a satisfying, clean, and dry with honeyed fruits and gingerbread. Dry, yeah, that's a tough one because there is a sweetness there that is coming from the fruit. There's a lot of fruit notes, but it's not a syrupy kind of a taste that it gives you. And that bit of ginger and rind that comes in at the end, that is probably what tempers the sweetness on this and makes it something that, oh man. I had a chance to do a tasting at Deanston, and I highly recommend doing the chocolate pairing. Now, I had a guide to myself because nobody else on my tour did the chocolate tasting, the chocolate pairing. We had like 5 different chocolates and 5 different expressions up to their 18-year, their virgin oak. And I am really impressed with the stuff that they produce at Deanston. And I need to have more than just the 12-year because I know there's so much more that they make that is so good. Yeah. No, this one goes in my excellent category. I am just a huge fan of Deanston, and if you're looking for a complex whiskey with a really pleasant palate and a lot of intriguing notes at the beginning and end, it's not a smoky whiskey. Like I said, I mentioned smoke at the beginning, but it's more of like a wood, almost, it's not really sawdust, but it kind of comes at you with that kind of smoky kind of character, like you're in wood shop or something. So very, very interesting. Have you had Deanston 12? What do you think? Your opinions on it? Have you been to the distillery? You can walk from the distillery to the Monty Python Dune Castle where they filmed Holy Grail. Very, very cool experience, and not far from Stirling and Stirling Castle as well. So it's a fun area of Scotland to travel around. Leave your comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, give me a like. Subscribe if you want to watch more, and until next time, cheers and Slainte.